Hi, this is Doug Ward from Tech Britain. Today I'm here with Simon Jenner. We're at the Birmingham Science Park. Simon's part of Oxygen Accelerator. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
If you'd just like to let our audience know about yourself, Simon, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hi, so Simon Jenner, work for Birmingham Science Park, and I run the Technology Incubator and Oxygen Accelerator here at the park.
And before that, Simon?
Yeah, before that, so I've been in the tech field for the last sort of 12, 13 years since I graduated as an IT. Worked for BT, Lucent, then had my own business for about 7 or 8 years in IT security. Sold that in 2008. Did some failed startups, and then came here to help support new startups.
Awesome. And if anybody out there doesn't know what Oxygen Accelerator is and what's happening at the Birmingham Science Park, can you share that?
Yep, sure. So 2 programs. We've got Technology Incubator, which incubates for 6 months, but doesn't provide any investment funding for those businesses. And we have Oxygen Accelerator, which is a bit, it's modelled on Y Combinator or Techstars out in the US. It's a 13-week intensive boot camp. Gives investment of up to sort of €40,000 to each of the teams. We take 10 teams and we run that twice a year.
And if anybody's watching this and thinking, how do I get involved? Just first off, we get the website.
Yeah, it's www.oxygenaccelerator.com.
Fantastic. And if they've got an idea, what's the best way for them to try and get involved?
So applications are actually just about to open 1st of June, so they're open for 2 months. Apply online, and then you get selected, or you may get selected. And then you come forward for interview.
And just in case they catch this just after this application process, when's the next one?
So they can always contact us and say, let us know when the next cycle is. But we're looking at the next cycle will be sometime next year. So applications will open back end of this year, early next year.
And do you accept like individual co-founders, founders, or do you like, is there preferences?
We have a preference for teams because we think actually being in a startup is really hard, and you need multiple skill sets, and that's best served by having 2 or 3 people. So 3 would be our sweet spot.
Awesome. And the application process, what can they expect?
So online applications, pretty simple. It's like 25 questions or something like that, just asking about you as an individual, your teammates, and obviously the business idea, where you are with it currently. So that's fairly simple. We then down select from the hundreds of applications we get, and bring forward something like 40 teams or individuals to interview. We do that by Skype or whatever, and then we'll down select again. So it's just kind of trying to get a feel for where you are in the product and in the process of building your startup. And really it's about the team. Do you guys function well together? Have you done this before? What experience have you got? Are you the type of people that can actually really pull this off?
Someone who's watching this and maybe thinking, if I go up to Simon, he won't give me time of day. What can they expect people dealing with you? Not been here before.
Yeah.
Some people are quite intimidated and thinking, oh, maybe it's not for me. Is it a friendly atmosphere?
Oh yeah, really friendly atmosphere. So we're here to help at the end of the day, and we love people that are passionate about their ideas, etc. And so we're just here to give them some of our expertise and our massive mental base of expertise, and just try and point them in the right direction. Of course, we do go through a selection for Oxygen, but with the Technology Incubator, we're much more there to help and support those individuals get a bit further along. So yeah, we're very open. Doors open. Come chat.
Superb. This is obviously a fantastic asset for Birmingham's tech community.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Birmingham's tech community today?
So I started this job 2 years ago, and I think it's fairly safe to say there was no tech community per se. 2.5 years on, and actually now we have, I think, some good strong foundations. We're still young, as are most UK cities outside of London, but it's growing fast. We've gone from having a handful of meetups a month to 2 or 3 meetups a week, and that's happened in the space of 2 years. We've gone from kind of being able to point at probably 2 or 3 startups in the tech field to having sort of 50 or 60 now.
Wow.
So it's a massive growth in a short period.
Awesome. And in terms of the government getting involved, should I say, do you think they have a role to play, Simon, in helping the tech community?
I think they do, but I think they have to be careful. Tech people are fairly sceptical by their very nature. and I see what happens with Tech City in London, and there's some good elements of that, but there's also some really bad elements of that. So I think where they can get involved is in making investment into startups easy and tax efficient for investors, and they've done some of that, and I think they should do some more of that. I think local governments can do things around rates relief and supporting young startup businesses to really just make it as easy as possible and cheap as possible for them to get going. It's the hardest part, is getting the traction, getting the build up over the first year.
Absolutely.
So let's make that as easy as possible, and we'll get lots more entrepreneurs coming into it.
And what do you see for the future of Birmingham's tech community?
Continued growth. We're on a sort of upward spiral, so I see more of that happening. My sort of personal target would be see 100 startups a year happening in Birmingham, and I think that's doable.
And in terms of the culture, we always look at the States and it's like you can do it attitude, and we kind of feel like we're breaking through that at the moment.
Yeah.
Anybody who's out there who's thinking, I don't know whether to come to this place, should I go across to the States? What have you got to say to someone with that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult to argue with should I go to San Francisco, because there's lots of money available, there's lots of people around you doing similar things. But that's the easier answer. If you can stay within the UK and we can make this happen, actually one extra startup staying here and being successful will help the community grow. So I'm quite passionate that people do kind of stick it out and do it, and it's not impossible. We've raised 1.1 million for about 5 or 6 startups in the last 18 months.
Awesome.
We've got another 6 startups going through funding at the moment, and they're all based in Birmingham, so it can happen. I agree it's not as easy as the States, maybe not as easy as London, but it is achievable.
And the UK is coming together. We can compete on an international stage.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can go to London to the investors, we can go to Europe to the investors. It's easy.
I'd like to say thank you very much for your time. It's been a real pleasure.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.